All right, tonight we're going to make some bread and go over some of the things you need. You need a cooling rack, a good sized bowl, a scale, some kind of frying pan, a large spoon full of sesame seeds, large spoon. You need a big bowl like this that'll hold at least a couple cups of water. You need another tablespoon. You need some flour, preferably bread flour. You need a Dutch oven, packet of yeast, some salt, sugar, salt and sugar. You need some cellophane wrap, some parchment paper, and some oven mitts. So we'll start with that. That's pretty much, and you need some water. Clean water, don't use chlorinated water, right? You damage the yeast. All right, so we'll get back to you in a minute. All right, we're gonna have one packet of dry yeast, active dry yeast. You put that in your pocket to make it warm. And then we're gonna add, you gotta have a scale. You just put the bowl on the scale and zero it out. And then you're going to put 400 or 575 grams of flour in there. That's why you got a big spoon. Don't use a little spoon. You'll be there for the rest of your life. Okay, 575 grams of flour. Get that out of your way. One tablespoon of salt. Makes you happy. Okay. And you're going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar in that bowl. Put the bowl, put this over here. You gotta turn on your sesame seed pretty low because they burn quick. Just put them on low heat, toast them. All right. And you're gonna put this sugar in a bowl, and you're gonna zero out that little bowl. And then you're gonna get a cup. You're gonna put some clean, not tap water, get some filtered water or something. Like I say, you'll damage the yeast. 375 grams of water. $375 grams of water. Stir that up a little bit. You're going to put it in the microwave. You don't need to show that. put it in the microwave for 50 seconds. You don't need this anymore. Alright, now it's 50 seconds in the microwave. Then you're going to take a nice warm yeast. Hang on. Yeah, you're going to dump that whole thing in there. And the sugar makes it happy. Okay. Shake your pan so you don't burn your seeds. And you want to put the light on in your oven, and that'll keep the oven warm enough. That's all you need is a light. Okay, stir that up. Let it set about 15 minutes. Come on. Helps if it works. Okay. And let that sit for about 15 minutes. And while you do that, just mix that salt in with the flour. Just stir it like this, because if you try and flop it all over, it'll be all over the place. Okay, let's see. All right. We'll stop that for a little bit. You don't need to watch. All right, now the
You want me to pick up the
sesame seeds are starting to turn nice brown. It's been about 15 minutes on a low heat. So you can take and dump those in your flour. You want to leave them too long, then they burn. They go from nice to bad in a couple seconds. So, all right, and then we're going to stir those into the flour. All right, now we push the dough over to the side of the bowl so that the center of the bowl shows on the center. That way, make sure the bottom part of that flour gets wet. Put all that nice foamy yeast in there. Yep. See that? How it's all foamed up, and we'll start to work that in from the sides. Just work it in. Don't try and mix it all together. You'll just splash all over the place. Just work it in there. Get it all wet, so you don't have flour everywhere. Okay, if you can stop now here. All right, now you just keep on mixing this in. It looks like it's going to be too dry. It looks like it's not going to have enough water. Don't worry about that. That's why you weigh the water and weigh the flour. You'll see how it just all sort of works together. It's not too dry. And once you get all that flour wet, then you can start moving around without getting it all over. And you want to get all the flour off the bottom of the bowl and much of it off the sides as you can. Because you got to clean all that up. Makes a mess. You can see how it's starting to come together. It looks like it's too dry, but it's not. Working around to get all that stuff off the bottom. Once you get most of that stuff off the bottom, you want to start working it into a ball. And take the best at this point to use the back of the spoon and push it into start pushing it into a ball. Get the crumbs up. And don't add more water because you'll end up with soup. You can use all bread flour, all-purpose flour. You can use whole wheat flour, but whole wheat flour takes longer to rise. You can use like 100 grams of whole wheat flour and 475 grams of bread flour. That works good, but the water is the same. 375 grams of water. Clean, good filtered water. See how that's now working into a nice ball. Again, want to get it smooth and get all that dough picked up, flour picked up. Most of the time in making the bread is waiting. Doesn't really take that long to do this part of it. good enough. And now you want to put I use this big cellophane. Get it pulled down over the bowl. If you don't, it'll get dry and get a hard crust on the top. And you put it in here and let it stay warm. That light in the oven warms it up to maybe 100 degrees. And then next you want to clean your bowl out or you won't get that sticky dough out of there. You don't need the spoons. Just wipe that dough off the spoons or you'll spend more time scrubbing. Like paste. Okay. Alright, see? Put them in the sink. You're going to need this bowl more because you got to wet your hands to keep the dough from sticking. So just put that over there. Clean up the mess. And then, yeah, just keep on. Then you need to take your Dutch oven. And you're going to rip off that much parchment paper. You have to do that. And find the center of that. Just make it into a big messy ball. That'll make it easier to push it in to your Dutch oven. Right? And this is for two reasons. One reason, it'll stop the bottom of your bread from sticking to the pan. And it'll give you some way to, you want extra material in there because you got to lift the bread out of the pan when you're done. And you got to lift the dough up and put it in the pan. So this extra material makes a difference. And just work that in there. Careful not to tear it. And I just put that on there. Put it aside, right? And then we'll come back. You wait about 50 minutes. 50 minutes in the oven. We set that for 50 minutes to rise. Oop. So we'll be back when that rises. All right, now we're ready. This dough has been rising for 50 minutes. Nice and warm. We got some clean water. You're gonna need some clean water in that bowl. Okay. And take this cellophane off and put it somewhere. Okay. And the first thing you want to do is get some water on your hands and go like this. Knock all the air out, otherwise you'll have big holes in your dough. Poke all the air out. Okay. More water. And then you want to pull that dough away from the side of the bowl and start pulling it into the center. keep folding it into the center. It'll get hard to do. You see how much smoother the dough is now. And once you get it pulled in like that, you're going to start making it into a ball. And just sort of hang onto the edges of it and turn the bowl and spin it around. Put it upside down. And get it into a nice ball shape. Takes a couple minutes. Right. Get the dough off your hands. Put this thing back on. You want to let it sit in there for another 45 minutes. This is the second rise. And you set it in that oven with that light on. You don't have to heat it up. And let it sit for 45 minutes. Dump that out, get some clean water. Okay. Okay?
Yeah.
So the bread has been rising, the dough has been rising for another 45 minutes. And it's all again. So now we're going to go the final step. We got to knock the gas out of the dough again. You got to keep wetting your hands just a little bit, don't get them soaking wet, and then pull the dough off the side of the bowl. And the same thing, pull that dough into the center. Starts to get stiff. You're gonna do the same thing, roll it around, get it smooth. Now, and you're going to need a sharp knife and a plate. You don't want to get water all over your iron pot. You will put that in here. Put the lid right side up, otherwise you won't be able to pick it up. It's gonna be hot. Take this, put it in the plate, take the pot, put that in there, and you need to have the rack, you know, one thing above the bottom, and put a pan under there, otherwise the bottom of your bread will get too hot and burn. Okay, you want a pan under there that keeps it from getting direct heat. And then, this time you want to wet both your hands. And you're going to take your dough, get it unstuck first, and pick it up, put it right there, and then you get that dough off the side of the bowl. And don't make a mess out of your pot. That. Okay. And wipe out the inside. You don't want that to be dry. You don't want it to be wet. Okay. It helps if you get that dough off there. It's still easy. This is why you leave all that extra material on there. You can pick the bread up. You can pick the dough up, I mean. Put this back on. Otherwise your dough will dry out. Get back on. Get rid of your plate. And we'll stick that over here. Okay, and then if you have a convection oven, you're going to turn on the oven and you're going to put it up to 415. 415. Right? Start and wait till it gets hot. Okay, that takes about 10-15 minutes, so pause it. Okay, we're back. The oven's preheated to 415. And we're going to take the bowl and throw this away. And we're going to score the dough. Sharp knife. Don't try and like push it in, just score it. Okay? Okay? Alright. Can't see it very well, but it's scored. And then we're going to open up the oven. This pan is really hot, so don't touch it. Right? Got this. Lay it on like that. Use these paper for handles. Be careful it's balanced so you don't tip it over and drop it. Put it in there like that. Lid on. Screws tight. Put that in there. Put it in there for 40 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40 minutes at 415. All right, turn it off. All right, now we got Been cooking for 40 minutes. At 4:15, we're going to take the top off. And then we're going to let it brown for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes brown on the top. And then you got your cooling rack here. Getting that ready. Alright, so you can turn it off for a couple minutes. Alright, time's up. Turn it off. Take that bread out of here. Very hot. And pick it up from here. Put it on the rack. Voila. Really good bread. That's about 3 hours. Not very much work, but 3 hours from beginning to end. Well, and that's it. Have a nice bread. Oh yeah, we forgot to pray over the bread. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who bringeth forth bread from the earth. Amen.